All right, folks, here we are. It's the day before the SAG Award nominations come out, so it's time for a final predictions video on that. Okay, so we've got 6 film categories here tomorrow, which is this is kind of one, through the year you look at it and it's like, okay, this one maybe I can get, 100%. You always think that, but of course something goes wrong. And SAG, every few years, like especially last year, they just completely turned this Oscar race on its head. This, I think, last year was where we finally decided, okay, we know for sure that Get Out is going to be a player for Best Picture. We know for sure that Lady Bird is going to be a player. We questioned at that rate whether or not Shape of Water was going to be a player because it missed out for the ensemble prize at the end. The Post got nothing last year, which at that point, after the Big Globes push, we were like, is the Post all of a sudden going to be a big player here? But no, turned out only 2 nominations at the Oscars later. Anyway, so, and I think back to like 2015 was a weird year too. So, every now and again they'll have some weird years, but we got one last year. I think this year it'll be kind of like, I'm thinking back to like 2014 when we had, that year I think I did I think I got 80% plus on that year. I did very well. But anyways, that being said though, it's like, every year is kind of different. Like even 2016, La La Land didn't get in for ensemble, so it's like, it's there's always at least 1 or 2 big swings and misses on my part at least for trying to get these correct. So we've got 6 film categories. First one up is stunt ensemble, and this prize is another weird one too. Like I remember 2016 that year too. It was like Nocturnal Animals got in for best stunts. I was like, what? There's a couple weird ones like that. So anyway, so I'm kind of predicting one film that maybe not everybody else will be predicting. I think the other 4 I think are safer bets, but we'll get into it here. So my 5 here are A Quiet Place, that's the one, Avengers: Infinity War, Black Panther, Mission Impossible: Fallout, and Widows. Those are my 5. I think the bottom 4 there, Avengers, Panther, Mission Impossible, and Widows. I think those 4 feel like what we've gotten in the past. A Quiet Place is where I'm kind of going with that strange Nocturnal Animals type nomination award there. And Quiet Place it's been popping up here thus far in the award season, getting at least a couple things. It was nominated for score at the Globes, got in yesterday at Critics' Choice for original screenplay, and well, horror film, but who fucking cares? Sorry, I just don't. I know some people like those smaller awards, but nope, not me. Anyway, so you got those 5, and then I've got 3 other films that I think are potentially going to make it, but one of them for sure, because we see sometimes like, last year The Post, it screened so late in December, for some of these, for the voting body that decides on these, that I think some of them were turned off by that, or they just didn't get to it. Same thing happened a few years ago with like The Hateful Eight, The Revenant, with maybe one exception of Leo, didn't really get widely screened for SAG. There's a couple examples like that in the past. One of them, for the stunt category at least, that could be the case is Aquaman. So I have that down as a possibility. I also think Deadpool 2 has a possibility. There's quite a few stunts in there. And First Man also has a, again, kind of a smaller shot there, but we'll see. Okay, then move on to the other 5 awards here. These are the kind of main ones that everybody kind of gets a little bit of a better shot at. Let's see, so supporting actress first, I have Amy Adams, Claire Foy, Regina King, Emma Stone, and Rachel Weisz. I think those are the 5 we got at the Globes. I think these are the 5 that are going to repeat through. I mean, we've got, all 5 of them made it in at Critics' Choice yesterday, and of course, Nicole Kidman got that 6th slot. The only thing, kind of like we mentioned with last year, like The Post, or with Hateful Eight, and with a couple of those, when you get a film like that screens late, like Vice this year, that could be one that misses. So that's one to consider, is maybe Amy Adams doesn't get in. So consider that. Let's see here. We've got a couple other possibilities, I think. Here, really, it's down to Michelle Yeoh for Crazy Rich Asians and Nicole Kidman for Boy Erased. I think those are... if Amy misses, then that's one of them that can get in. Otherwise, I think Claire Foy feels pretty safe. First Man really bounced back yesterday. We'll see if that continues. Regina King, I think, has this down locked. I think the 2 favorite actresses are probably going to get in. Yeah. Anyways, so that's it for that one. Supporting actor, I'm thinking Mahershala Ali for Green Book, Timothée Chalamet, Adam Driver, Sam Elliott, and Richard E. Grant. Can you ever forgive me? yeah, these five made it in yesterday, and then Michael B. Jordan was the sixth one. Sam Rockwell got in for the Globes for Vice. So I think, again, these are kind of the seven that we're looking at here. Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, actually, one more for supporting actress. I originally had her predicted a while ago, and that was Natalie Portman, but I don't know. It feels like, she missed out at the Globes, even though it felt like there was a strong possibility of her being nominated after we heard that press announcement, but that didn't pan out. Otherwise, for supporting actor here, yeah, those seven are about it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just looking through. It's like I'm not seeing anybody else that really pops to mind and says, okay, they could be a surprise nominee. Well, okay, maybe one it would have to really go over well is Jonathan Pryce for The Wife. I saw The Wife over the weekend, and for my money, he had a stronger performance than Glenn Close did, or at least maybe his part was also written that way too. But I felt like he was terrific in that, and it's he's kind of the diamond in the rough there. Compared Glenn Close obviously I think does a good job, but it's like yeah he took me by surprise there. Okay, then we're gonna move on to lead actress. My five here are Emily Blunt, Glenn Close, Olivia Colman, Lady Gaga, and Melissa McCarthy. Yeah, I think these are all five of them, one way or another, were nominated for the Globe and for Critics' Choice. Yes, okay, I was double checking that. Then we had Yalitza Aparicio and Toni Collette make it in yesterday for Critics' Choice. Again, that's with 7 nominations, though. Remember, we have to whittle it down to 5. So I think those two are definitely still in play here. We'll have to see how widely they were screened by SAG. This could be the one place, too, where Roma really doesn't make much of an appearance here. Yalitza, I think, is pretty much the last shot for it here, because I don't think it qualifies for the stunt thing. I don't think it gets in for ensemble or anything else there. So, yeah, we've got those two. Nicole Kidman also got the Globe nomination for Destroyer, so I think she's in play here. One more is Viola Davis for Widows. I think she is definitely has a shot. And, that's the thing for me is Widows has been one. Early on we all thought it'd be a Best Picture player, and, she'd get in, and it might get in for screenplay and a few of those tech categories. Really, at this point, it only landed one big significant nomination yesterday for film editing. Otherwise, I think it was in for, action movie, but, again, bullshit on those. So it's like, yeah, that one, and nothing at the Globe, so that really has been a disappointment so far in the season. But she could, because Viola Davis has gotten nominated several times for How to Get Away with Murder on the TV side, and of course Fences she won for a couple years ago, and she was won for The Help as well in 2011, so she has been a SAG favorite over the years. So she's one, she might have to bump somebody, but if she's going to bump anybody, it's probably going to be Emily Blunt. But I think Emily Blunt is coming on strong, though. I actually moved her in as the 5th slot for the Oscars, and I pushed out Yalitza at the Oscars. So we'll have to see if that holds true. I think if Emily really nails that the nomination tomorrow and gets in and is that 5th nominee there, I think she pretty well will get the Oscar. Because, I mean, a nomination at least, maybe not the win, because a lot has to happen for that to go through. But pretty much BAFTA, she's guaranteed a slot, because I'm sure they'll love Mary Poppins. They might even get it in for picture and for maybe director for Rob Marshall, too, over there. But that's, predictions for another day. And she is, of course, hailing from Britain land, so she'll have a handy advantage over there. So, yeah, I'm thinking that's really, so we've got 4 other players in there, so that could be, I think 9 potential nominees there, but I'm going with those 5. Okay, leading actor, I have Christian Bale for Vice, Bradley Cooper getting in, Ethan Hawke, Rami Malek, and Viggo Mortensen. These are the 5 I have at the Oscars right now, but a lot can change here, a lot. Ryan Gosling missed out on the Globe, but he got in yesterday at Critics' Choice. Again, that's with 7 nominees. Let's see, the 7th nomination yesterday, because all 5 of these got in at Critics' Choice. The other one to make it 7 was Willem Dafoe, and Willem Dafoe got the Globe. So it's like, yeah, that's tough to kind of pick from those. You've also got John David Washington in play. He was nominated at the Globes for BlacKkKlansman. Missing out at Critics' Choice, though, was a hit for him. Even though Critics' Choice, with 7 nominations, they couldn't find room for him. So, yeah. And also another one to maybe look out for is Lucas Hedges for Boy Erased. Because he was that another Globe nominee for the drama category there. So yeah, that's the thing, It's tough. Now I think Ethan Hawke and Rami Malek, I think, are the two most expendable ones in this category. I doubt Vigo misses. Again, the only thing would be Vice. If that one just didn't screen in time or not enough people saw it, and that just misses everything, that surrenders Christian Bale's spot too. But Bradley Cooper and Vigo for sure are very safe here. I don't see a scenario where one of them miss, unless it's like last year with The Post or with Shape of Water, that ensemble category, unless it's a weird thing like that. But I feel like they're going to get in. So yeah, that leaves up to 3 spots possible again if the Vice thing falls through. But thus far, Vice has been nominated, consistently. It got the most nominations at Globes the other day, or last week. It was actually a week ago, Thursday. And it was 8 nominees in the major categories yesterday. So, it's kind of like The Big Short. That one came through for SAG, and it got 2 big nominations for supporting actor Christian Bale and for ensemble in 2015. And that was another late December player like Vice is. So, thus far, it feels like Vice is going to be fine. But, just in case, you got to bring that example up, like The Post last year and Hateful Eight and a couple of those. So yeah, I think is that another 4 that we're looking at there? Yeah, so both the lead categories, I have it down to 9 potentials, but yeah. Okay, now the ensemble. This one, like last year, this is the toughest category to predict because there's a lot of different directions they can go here. A lot. So, my 5 are, I'm finally have these in alphabetical order here, or at least my version of alphabetical. Everybody has different ones. Star is Born, Black Panther, Green Book, The Favorite, and Vice. Now, I was really, because before I had Beale Street Could Talk in here, and for ensemble, which I think is definitely still a major possibility, and it's still my pick right now to win Best Picture, but missing here is a major blow. The fact that it only got, what was it, 5 nominations yesterday through the major categories of Critics' Choice didn't help it. The fact that at the Globes it missed out for director, and it also missed director at Critics' Choice as well, doesn't help it. So, yeah, that's the thing, is right now I'm feeling like if I want to dump that one for Best Picture, I'm just not sure where to go yet. Kind of like an orphan, it's like I got to find a home somewhere. I got to find one of these camps to go into, and I'm looking through. It's like the favorite to me feels like Birdman from 2014. It's that kind of weird, kind of turn on your head expectation wise, kind of subverts expectations kind of film, where there's funny parts. It's in the comedy race like Birdman was. It's from Fox Searchlight. Birdman was from Fox Searchlight. It's got a very familiar cast. It's, almost a lock to be nominated for this ensemble prize, which Birdman was and won. And it might lose the Globe, which Birdman did. The director thing, that's the other thing, is that year, Iñárritu, who directed Birdman, he was a lock. No matter what was going to happen, he was going to be at least nominated for director. At this stage in that race, we were thinking it was going to be Richard Linklater and Boyhood was going to win picture. So keep that in mind too. But Yorgos is not, he missed out of the Globe. He got in yesterday, but again, that's with 7 nominees in that director category yesterday. So that's the thing, is, he's not exactly 100% locked to get that director nomination. I think he will. I still have him in, but. So that's, there's a couple things stopping me there. Green Book, you've got, a lot of things. We're not sure if Peter Farrelly's going to get in for director. So far, he's been nominated both at the Globes and Critics' Choice. Again, with 7 nominees at Critics' Choice, he could have fallen through, but he didn't. And he made it into the 5, arguably taking out Yorgos for that 5th slot at the Globes. So that's the thing, and also, there is some backlash on it too. You have to remember, not everybody's happy with the race relations aspect of the film, which I didn't in particular have a problem with, but I know a lot of people do. So that could be kind of like 3 Billboards last year, where it gets taken out by that. If there's kind of a whisper campaign at first, and then that just grows and grows through the season, and eventually people just don't, either, number 1, don't feel comfortable voting for it, or number 2, feel like they're bullied into not voting for it, which fucking happened last year, god damn it. But anyways, I'm convinced of that at least. But if that happens again, then I'm not picking Green Book. Black Panther, the first superhero movie to potentially be nominated for Best Picture. I don't know. It's like we don't. Ryan Coogler was not one of the seven directors nominated yesterday. He couldn't even make it in with seven nominees, so he's probably not making in for director. Screenplay is a big question mark, and this would be the first time. Oh God, I got to think about it. I mean, do we have to go back to Grand Hotel, the last time a film was not nominated for screenplay or director and still won picture? I don't know. And then also, again, there's kind of a pushback from some members of the Academy who just don't like the superhero movies still. So keep that in mind too. And then A Star is Born, for the most part, it's ticking all the right boxes, but just me personally, I didn't really care for it as much as everybody else does. I still like it. I give it a positive review and everything, but, there's kind of a curse around this movie where, not this particular iteration, but just in general, where the third version with Barbra Streisand and Chris Christopherson, was a major player at the awards that year, and it won a whole bunch of Globes and stuff, but it wasn't, a very well-reviewed movie, and it wasn't nominated for Best Picture. The 54 version, or I think it was 54, yeah, with Judy Garland, not even Judy Garland could win, so she was pretty much a lock that year, but then along comes Country Girl with Grace Kelly. Even the 1930s version didn't do terribly well at the Oscars. I think that one was at least nominated for picture, but yeah, so you've got that. I mean, just a little superstition around that, but otherwise, I feel like, the screenplay is not exactly a lock. I have it getting in now at the Oscars, but there's a couple of different directions they can go where that doesn't get nominated. Bradley Cooper, I think, gets in for director. Obviously, I think the two acting prizes, and probably Sam Elliott, but he's lower on the list now for, I think, locks to get in. I mean, he's not anymore. Missing the Globe was a big hit, but we'll see. Like I said, I have him getting in tomorrow, so yeah, that's. I'm just not confident picking that one yet, but it's, of the other choices, though, other than the favorite, those are kind of the two I'm bouncing around right now. And obviously Green Book could still pull through if it does really well at the Globes and continues to go on and gets a DGA nomination and gets Peter Farrelly in at the Oscars, too. Yeah, so. And then again, maybe Beale Street can bounce back and it gets a DGA nomination. Barry Jenkins takes up one of those slots for director. It hasn't opened yet, so we don't know how well it's doing at the box office. But thus far, The Favorite is killing it in its limited release. Green Book, I think, is getting better and better in its wide release. Of course, Black Panther was the highest-grossing film of the year domestically, and Star is Born is killing it, close to $200 million now. So, yeah, and that's just in the States. Anyway, so okay, back to this though. Now that we kind of went off on a rabbit trail there. So I have these five, but again, there's a lot of different things in play here. Now, obviously, Beale Street is one that could happen. It's got a very diverse cast with a lot of blacks and whites in there. Crazy Rich Asians, of course, mostly Asian American cast. That's one that could get in. That's the thing though, is I got burned on it yesterday. I had it in for picture, I had it in for supporting actress, I had it in for screenplay. It didn't get any of those. It only got ensemble and production design, I think, were the only two. So yeah, that burned me yesterday, so I'm not betting on that one. Watch it get in now. Widows is one that could happen. Again, that's another one that's a pretty diverse cast. But again, that one has not been doing well through the season. Another one to consider is Black Klansman. That's another diverse cast. Black Klansman, I think, has a shot at. I think it'll get nominated for picture. I'm not going to predict it by anytime soon, but I think it'll get a number of nominations there. Then you look at one other one I'm not considering as highly, but just for the hell of it, I'll mention it just in case it gets in, is Mary Poppins. Again, that's a large ensemble there. And, we mentioned Emily Blunt gets in, I think. Otherwise, you got Lin-Manuel Miranda, you've got Meryl Streep, you've got, quite a few names, Colin Firth, Dick Van Dyke, there's just so many. Angela Lansbury even. So you've got a ton of people in there that the SAG voters like. Another thing, too, we have to keep in mind is sometimes they like to nominate casts where you get people that are known for film and then also known for TV. So that's another thing we have to consider. So I think The Favorite fits that with Olivia Colman, who did some TV stuff before, now kind of coming over, and she's actually shooting The Crown right now for I think it's season 3. Yeah, it'd be season 3. Green Book, Linda Cardellini and Mahershala Ali have done some time on TV. Vice is mostly film cast, but that's okay. Black Panther, I think. I'm trying to think. Well, you got Denai Guerrero, who's famous from Walking Dead. Let's see. I can't remember if Chadwick has done any limited series or any of those kind of things, but yeah. And another one, Martin Freeman's in there. Of course, he's been doing a lot. He kicked ass in that season of Fargo he was in. I watched that a few months ago. Oh, that was so good, so good. But yeah. And then Star Wars Born. You've got Lady Gaga is known, of course, as a music personality, and not a lot of TV crossover there. But I'm putting it in just because of its potential Oscar-winning capacities there. So yeah. Okay, so you got those 5, another 4 or 5 that could make it in. So yeah, there's a lot that can happen in that ensemble category. So yeah, that's where I'm going for tomorrow. Let's see here. I know we had a lot of trouble. I don't know if because Critics' Choice, if they did a live announcement, if they did, I missed it. And seriously, that's a piss poor effort on their part to promote it too. Because I couldn't find jack shit as far as websites promoting when the Critics' Choice nominations were going to be announced. So let me see if I can find for this year for SAG. Okay, and nominations will be at let's see, 10 a.m. Eastern. So yeah, kind of mid-morning tomorrow. So yeah, I will. I think that's okay. Yeah, this is correct. Yeah, I was gonna say I hope this is not the one from last year and I get it wrong. But and even last year, I remember I tried to watch them and I explained it in last year's video, but I could not get it was very laggy and I couldn't watch it. It just didn't work. So yeah, so far I've been okay here for watching live stuff with Globes and stuff that didn't stutter or anything. So I'm gonna hope that holds true for tomorrow as well. Okay, so yes, I will be here live probably a few minutes before they start announcing. They'll do TV, if they've done like they've done the past couple of years, they did TV stuff first, then they went over to film, so hopefully they do that again, and we don't get a mixture like the Globes always do, which always confuse me, because they'll say, best performance by an actor in a supporting role, and then they'll mention if it's TV or film, and you're always like for a second like, what are they announcing here? So yeah. Okay, so those are my predictions there. Yeah, I don't really have anything else for you today, so quick one today, and that will wrap it up. So we'll see everybody tomorrow, and we'll see where SAG goes.